Welcome to CU Talks, the space where we bring you closer to the journeys of entrepreneurs and innovators shaping business today. To all our listeners, thank you for tuning in. And today, we're excited to have with us Mr. Amit Katyal, founder of Bookkeepers and more. Mr. Katyal works for both startups and established firms, helping them simplify financial management and focus on growth. Sir, it's a pleasure to have you here. To kick things off, could you share with our audience what first inspired you to start Bookkeepers and more, and how that idea took shape?
So to start with, I think allow me to introduce myself a bit more professionally. Why? Because if I do not set up the base, nobody will understand the journey. Professionally, I'm a chartered accountant. I've been working for last 23 years now. And out of 23, 20 years has been from the corporate sector. Frankly speaking, when I actually started my career as an accountant in a channel called CNN, HBO and Cartoon Network, there you actually, you say the rubber meeting the road. You qualified as a chartered accountant when you entered the corporate, and then you understand the importance of numbers. And at that point of time, that journey started where the numbers being created by us were being used by the management to take all the important decisions. And then obviously in the due course of time in my journey, I could relish, I could enjoy the work I do. And the way people appreciated or the way people actually used our work to take any important decisions of the corporate or of obviously of the department. Bookkeepers. So when I actually worked with multinational companies, I could see best practices being adopted by the big giants like CNN, HBO, Cartoon Network channels of the world. I worked with Astro Media, Snapdeal, Oyo. But one thing which was very clear, the power of information basically was there in the top elite class of the corporate. But when I actually moved around and wanted to talk to my friends who were entrepreneurs, who were doing startup, who were in MSME, I could see a big gap where these entrepreneurs, these people who were running their own set of business, which was very good, but they were not relying on the right information. All their decisions were happening on gut. मुझे ये पसंद आया, मुझे लगता है ये profitable होगा, and then they took a call. And at that point of time, I actually asked these guys, you deserve to get better. You deserve to have somebody around you who basically can become your financial guardian angel. And the answer came back, yeah, it's a small company. We cannot afford big giants. We understand this is important, but again, the pocket doesn't allow us. Now, everybody understood the concept of need. Everybody knew that they need somebody, but their pocket, their vision basically always contradicted the demand. And then I decided if the good and the great things are happening in the larger corporate sector, can we actually extend the same thing to the people who are there down, from startup to MSME and SME, and then Bookkeepers basically was incubated to provide the top class accounting and financial services to all the strata of corporate society, but at a very optimized price.
Wow, sir, that's actually some great insight. I also wanted to ask if you don't mind, like looking back at your articleship during CA training, how did that period, create an impactful role in your professional outlook and give you this confidence to start something of your own?
See, articleship is one of the best experiences any chartered accountant or budding CA can actually look up to. Why? Because you are too young. You are being trained by the leading chartered accountants or any chartered accountant firm. And if you basically are a good student and you get a good mentor, trust me, this mentor can maneuver all your all good energies to the right direction. In my training period, I was being mentored by CA Mr. R.S. Goel from Pitampura. What an amazing personality is. I still remember my first task was basically to have a calculator and then add up all the numbers in a local directory, telephone directory. And technically, that was an awful job at that point of time. I never liked it. But then the concept was very clear. The mentor wanted me to be a master of that calculator. Now, that was very critical at that point of time, 25 years back. Now things have changed. But a good mentor will basically take you to all the rough tasks, all the tough turns, which basically will help you to become a better professional. Now, how that has helped me as an entrepreneur? Frankly speaking, everything. If Mr. Goyal would have not been the hard nut to crack at that point of time, trust me, taking this tough decision of moving out of my job and getting into something of my own, creating a baby of that, and then basically ensuring that this baby grows gradually. The risk is that you're not getting your monthly salary every month. You need to become an employer. You need to think differently. Imagine when I used to work in a job, it was a stable one. I used to get my salary on the last working day. I was not worried about sales. I was not worried about collections. I was worried about a particular department of my company. But when you become an entrepreneur, you have 30 plus company. I have 30 plus people right now. I need to think how these guys have to be paid. I need to go out in the market to hunt. That means sell. I cannot come back and say, oh, that's not my job. If you are a business owner, everything is your job. How did I do that? Frankly speaking, training. Training by whom? Training 25 years back, somebody who basically asked me to do everything before I actually start talking about becoming a chartered accountant. Now that is Mr. R.S. Goyal has done for me.
That's great, sir. I can agree with you that the value of a good mentor is priceless, truly.
That's insightful, and it makes me want to dive deeper with some questions. Having held key leadership roles like CFO at Excitel and VP Finance at Snapdeal, what important learnings from those experiences do you still carry with you today as you run your own company?
Every job I have been into, every position, every colleague has actually impacted me. But one thing I would like to put straight on the record was when I was the group CFO for Excitel Broadband in India, Excitel and Extreme Group in India, one of the promoter, Mr. Nikolai Gorchula, he has been one of the most influential mentor, I can say, and I take full responsibility saying this, that this man has basically taught me those things which the books of chartered accountancy degree never talked about. He spoke about a concept called good is the enemy of great. Sam, you can do many good things, but might be you are a great batting guy. Or Divyam, you are a great chess player. So he actually forced everybody to start thinking, do the things which you are great in. We can do multiple good things in life. Karthik can be a good rider. Harshil, you can be a good musician. But trust me, you would be great in few things, couple of them. Nikolai, or we call him Nikki with love, Nikki actually taught us every day, do those things which you are great in. And that is what we are doing right now. What is Bookkeepers? Bookkeepers is into the business of storytelling. And you can come back, Mr. Saluja. Amit, you are running an accounting firm. You're not into a storytelling business. Trust me, we are. Let's take an example. Divyam, you got 96. You will be happy?
Yes,
You
sir.
should be happy, right? Yeah. But imagine your girlfriend, if there is any, her waist size becomes 96. What would be her reaction?
Sir, she would be happy to.
I wish you would have been. Trust me on this, a 96 number on 100 when you are a student makes you happy. But a 96 weight, for me, as an example, I think that will make me very unhappy. Why? Because then I would be unhealthy. So every number is a different story for everyone. And trust me, guys, you can giggle about it. It is nice that we are giggling. Why? Because these are interviews or these podcasts can be very boring. So that's the reason I'm just trying to put some masala on the table for you guys. But we are converting every number into a story. Every ledger has a story behind it. You need to understand this now. Why? Because when you become an entrepreneur, when you become a CEO of a company, trust me, every number you are going to back up has a story behind it. And this is what we do. A strike rate. India-Pakistan match, a good strike rate is being evaluated by a number. So every number has a story behind it. So this is what we do. We create stories from every number, and this is what we have been doing up to.
This really highlights how valuable gaining job experience can be before starting a business. If I may, Here's another question I'd like to ask. For bookkeepers and more, which milestone stands out as both a breakthrough achievement and a crucial step in ensuring long term growth?
I think there is only one currency in business, which I believe that is called client satisfaction. If the people I'm working with or the people I'm working for, when I am not there, they talk good about me. They actually recommend my name to their customers, their peer members, their friends. Trust me, that is the best benchmark you can actually look up to. पैसा आ जाएगा. And trust me on this, पैसा अपने आप आता है. If you do a good job ensuring, and then one logic is very simple. If somebody pays you 100 rupees for a job, make sure you actually do for 200-300. Now you can come back and say that doesn't make any business logic. It, trust me, does. When you do something extra for your customer just to ensure that that person is satisfied, trust me, things come back to you in a very, very good way. I have actually faced it. I have seen my customers and I'm very happy. I'm not saying that all my customers are happy. I'm not saying that. But most of my people I work with, they recommend our name to their customers. That means I don't need to spend too much time on sales. There are people who are doing that on my behalf. And I love it. And for me, this is the currency I would like to follow. That is the only benchmark.
That's a really good point. I'd like to ask one last question. Many businesses struggle to maintain quality while scaling. How have you ensured consistency in services while growing?
Again, a difficult question. Trust me, we are also facing the same problem. So that is one thing which we are now understood. Scaling by cutting down the quality is a bad approach in long run. We are not going to do that. We have burnt our fingers. We have burnt ourselves in last a year or so when we saw growth, but then the satisfaction level actually went down. Now, as a team, we have decided we would like to take cautious steps. We would like to take baby steps. Rather than going up and scaling everywhere in the world, it is always better to basically have a better team, a better strategy, a better process, and more transparency so that we create a better platform which can handle success. So in the current scenario, the strategy has been very simple. After burning our hands, we are going to scale up, but scaling up basically has to be interrupted by regular intervals of introspection. So we would like to actually huddle every month, every week, if required, just to understand that the route being taken by us, is it actually in accordance to the principles of customer satisfaction or not? If it is not, we're going to put some brakes. We are going to apply some brakes. Idea is very simple. I personally would like to have a long-term relationship with my clients, not a short stints. Short stints will not make any difference in my life. When I say my life is dependent on the satisfaction of the people I work for. So I need people around me to think that Bookkeepers is a loyal partner. Bookkeeper is a trusted partner who will always step up and be on my right-hand side at all times. And for that, I need to have the right people, training them and placing them at the right positions. So that means we are not going to rush up for scaling up. We are going to take very, very cautious baby steps so that we are cementing every relationship. We are putting the right people at the right job and then moving out in the market to scout for new business.
Okay, sir. So I would like to continue. You just talked about putting right people in the right positions. So I think I would like to ask another question about that. How do you build your team? What is one non-negotiable quality that you look for when hiring, especially when we talk about a trust-driven like accounting and bookkeeping?
See, in our business, we need people who are well versed with the accounting principles. We need good accountants, but then along with that, we need people who basically have the craving to learn more, who have that attitude to step up and say, I'm going to do something more. Frankly speaking, everybody, if I go to the accounting fraternity, I'll find many accountants moving around me. But then how do I ensure that the person I pick up is the right fit? Now, the right fit is simple attitude. Capabilities can become, we can work on their capabilities, we can train them, but how do you train a person on the ability, on that craving to do more for the customer? Now, that is what we are looking for. We do not want people to work as an employee from 9 to 5, saying after 9, my job is done. No, we are not in that business. If my customer is having a problem, if my customer has any legit concern, say at 9 in the night, then I need my team to step up, come on the computer, talk to my customer or talk to their customer, to be very specific, and answer all the queries. So we do not want to hire employees who enjoy 9 to 5 job. We do not want them to stretch too. But whenever it is required, we need the partners to step up. And that is one of the biggest difference I actually scout for. I need people who are eligible, who have the attitude to become a partner, not limit them to a typical 9 to 5 employee.
That's definitely a great insight, sir, because you cannot in a person's skills, but you cannot change their attitude. So that's definitely one thing important. But if we look ahead, how do you vision your company, Bookkeepers and more, in the next years? What kind of impact do you want it to have in the industry?
Jain Sahab, I think that's a very, very strong question. At your age, you're asking this. Congratulations. So, before I answer that, let me tell you what Bookkeepers right now is trying to become. Bookkeepers wants to become the accounting and reporting factory in Bharat, for Bharat, but also for the world. So if I can train those few hundred or thousand accountants in Bharat, so right now we have an accounting factory in Ambala, and I would like to see more accounting factories across the tier 2 and tier 3 cities of the country. Why I really want to do that. And these factories, accounting and reporting factories, are servicing clients in Bharat, India, and across the globe. We are right now servicing clients in US, Africa, Australia, and why not? Why can't we actually enter in all the subcontinents, major countries, and try to target their tier 2, tier 3 companies? We are not trying to target the big giants. We are not that. But then every other person sitting somewhere in Bulgaria also deserves us. And this is what we would like to do. So a local person in Ambala, a local person in Ranchi, imagine a local person in Coimbatore. We set up accounting factories, reporting factories across Bharat, and they are servicing the world. Not the top guys, but the tier 2, tier 3 startups, SMEs across the globe. Now, this is what we want to do that. How much we can do, how much we can achieve, I don't know. But I know one thing, the route and the vision is very clear. The Bharat-based factory for the world.
Definitely, sir. Talking about introducing features, you recently launched Invoice Reporting as a Service, which provides automated real-time financial and operational reports. So my question to you is, how do you ensure the accuracy, relevance, and trustworthiness of the insights delivered to the clients? Because especially as AI, automation, and cloud technologies rapidly change the bookkeeping landscape.
So we talk about Invoicy, why Invoicy was created. So before I answer your question, I need to make you understand what we are doing. So let's say, example, Divyam, what do you study actually? Can you tell me? Sorry, I'm asking more questions to you.
No problem, sir. I actually am a student of BSc Honors Computer Science. So I study subjects like Python and computer system.
Excellent. So now you can understand the concept of data tables and the visualization. Now let's take an example. You are running a business and you're running, say, 10 football clubs in Europe. Now, technically, the 10 football clubs have different profit and loss accounts. They are spending money, they're earning money, they have non-financial KPIs like number of hours being spent, people coming over, marketing, search engine optimization. Now, trust me on this, being an entrepreneur, you need to be on top of the activities of your organization. There are 10 clubs in different countries. Now, how do you do that? You will ensure that you basically have a route or channel of information which basically digs to the data, generate all the information or say reports and give it to you at regular intervals. Now, this is important to run the business. Now, the question is, how do you do that? Obviously, you'll come back and say, Amit, I'll have people, they would be asking all the dirty questions, they would be digging the data, going back to the data lakes, churning them, and then converting it to information and giving it to me. Perfect. Can everybody do that? You are a rich man, you're a big guy having 10 clubs, but might be a normal entrepreneur like me. I think I would not be willing to spend too much money to do all these nice, fancy things. Then he'll come back and say, yaar, gut to hai. I know this thing is happening. That's the reason I'll take a decision. But then how is it correct? No. This is the area which we would like to target. Invoicy said to a Mr. Entrepreneur, Mr. MSME, SME, startup, please keep your accountant. He's closer to you. Please keep your chartered accountant firm because he's even closer to you because he was appointed by your father. He's managing your taxes, meets you twice a year. But then there's a gap between the accountant and the CA firm. And this gap has to be filled up by somebody who becomes your reporting wala. This person basically understands your business. This person will go and talk to everybody in the world to get all your financial, non-financial information. Imagine Sayyam is your recruitment manager to get the best defenders in, say, Germany. Now, how many people has he met? How many people did he interview? What is the amount of spend he is doing? What is the money he is earning? You need to know that. So then we came back and said, let's do one thing. Let's become the reporting wala for all the SME, MSME and startup sector of this country. And then rather than appointing large army of human beings, let me actually design all the reports on my tool called Invoicy and integrate my tool Invoicy with their accounting tool. It can be anything. You come back and say SAP, Oracle, Navision, Tally, Align Books, Zoho, Odoo, we integrate with everybody. Along with that, we also integrate with all the non-financial database. Why? Because I need to know more. I am not a financial reporting wala. I am a reporting wala from every segment. And when my Invoicy gets integrated with all your databases, we bring all the data on our data lake and then do the magic and ensure that you, Mr. Jain, get your report at regular intervals. You want to get the report after every 3 hours? Let's do that. You want to go live? Let's do that. Again, it's going to cost money. Now, this is what we are doing. We want to become your digital reporting wala in the world. We are not asking people to remove their accountants or CA firms. We are just trying to ensure that we provide your information on your laptops, on your mobile phone, without any human intervention. So that means you get up in the morning, Karthik, and you get everything in front of you. Simple. You don't need to ask anybody, Karthik. You are not supposed to call any accountant appointed by your uncle. You are just going to look at your phone and you get every report you want to see to run your business. So this is what.
Sir.
But Harshil can come back and say, Amit, garbage in, garbage out. That is a bad thing. Imagine the people, you hired somebody like Amit Katyal, and he by mistake, or might be because of any reason, he punched the wrong data. How do you ensure that the garbage in, garbage out basically is controlled? As of now, while we deploy Invoicy on different clients, we ensure that we also provide qualified financial analysts who are consuming the reports before the reports are rolled out by the system as of now. But in due course of time, now the due course of time can be 1 quarter or maximum 2 to 3 quarters, minimum 1, maximum 2 or 3. We are working with the AI company to create a digital CFO. Now the digital CFO is basically nothing, a person trained by a trained professional like us who is going to read all the reports, the time when it is created, when it is being created, and then evaluating the reports and asking all those questions which a human being, a CFO would have asked. Now imagine if there's a spike, there's an alien entry. The CFO, the digital CFO will actually weed it out and raise all the alarms to the accountant or the people who are responsible for data entry and saying, Mike, something is wrong, can you please have a look? While it happens in a reactive way, it will also ensure that it read the report and then send a summary to Mr. Sayam Saluja via email and WhatsApp saying, Mr. Saluja, this is your report since till yesterday night, 12 night. Before you get into that Excel file, which is attached to it, I would like to tell you that these are the 5 highlighters I think you need to know. So imagine before getting into that Excel report, dashboards, decks, the digital CFO is going to use a human language to tell Mr. Sayam Saluja, sir, this is what happened according to me. You still need to know more? Please open the Excel sheet. Now that is what we are doing just to ensure that garbage in, garbage out is controlled.
Yes, sir, I agree because in India, what the scene is, my dad and some other uncles that I know, CS aapko phone karte hain, then we'll ask him this. And it's very informal, it's really not that great because everything's done in a manual way. And if you're transitioning to AI and these things, you still need to establish that sort of comfortability. So a summary is really important. So you can't really throw them digital data and figure them out things. So telling a story, I feel is really important.
That was the reason I said, I think I'm the business of storytelling.
Exactly. So great advice, sir. We'll move on to something a bit informal. What I've seen from your LinkedIn, you've traveled a lot to Bulgaria, to many other countries. So we went to London recently on a private jet, and it's been a really big part of the journey. So do you feel that those experiences outside of work, meeting people, seeing different cultures, do those experiences influence the way you approach entrepreneurship and problem solving?
Sorry, can you please repeat the question in more simple English? I travel a lot. I do that. I meet many people. Yes. That's my job.
Yeah. What do you want? The question was that how do those experiences help you in taking decisions while you're running your business and entrepreneurship?
See, when you meet more people from different nationalities, first of all, India itself is a different country where every 100 kilometers, the language changes, the people, the way they eat change, the way they behave totally change. So obviously you need to learn within India before you step out of the country. But I'm lucky enough, I've traveled the globe. I think one thing which I've learned is that every person you meet is different and we have to accept it. And that difference basically can be in anything. The way he speaks, the way he takes decisions, the way he wants to do business with you, the way he wants to treat you. And frankly speaking, the more people you meet and the more people you interact. See, again, meeting and interaction are totally different. You meet, you imagine Karthik, you meet Harshil, hi, hello, how are you? And then you're done. Trust me, it's like meeting. But when you start interacting with Sayam or you start talking to Divyam, that how do you feel? Imagine talking about an idea. Imagine gossiping. There are 100 things you guys can talk, guys, girls, whatever is it. And then you actually understand what the other human being is. And after that, you start evaluating because when we human beings meet each other, we interact, we exchange pleasantries, and then there is a vibe, there's a connect. And that is a time which you basically decide that with whom you need to actually have a stronger connect, a longer connect, which can be taken up in future because not every relationship should be monetized. So I'm not talking about monetizing. I'm trying to talk about making friends. Because making good friends is such a tedious task. Getting the right friend in life is an amazing journey. But the day when you start doing it, irrespective of the fact that it is a male, female, or something else, or is it basically an Indian or somewhere else, I think that is totally different. Important is to meet, understand, respect, and enjoy that culture, enjoy that journey. You never know. In this journey, you will find your best partner of business or of life.
Sir, I agree with you 100%. Being from SSCBS in Delhi University, you meet a lot of people from, maybe from Bihar, from Jharkhand, from Jammu, from even different parts of Delhi. So it does create a feeling of understanding that guy's from that background, that guy's from that background. So you learn a lot, even if you're not trying to learn it. So great insight, sir. I agree with a lot of what you said. So to finish things off, a really great conversation, by the way. And I'm sure our students and listeners will take away a lot from your journey and from your approach. Is there any advice or anything that you'd like to add? Maybe a final thought or a message for all the entrepreneurs that are listening in?
I think couple of things which we have all, which I have understood in a hard way. One, a person who only talks in English or emphasize talking in English is not always correct. हिंदी हमारी मातृभाषा है. So जो आपसे हिंदी में बात करता है वो एक्चुअली दिल से बात कर रहा है, तो उसको भी रिस्पेक्ट उतनी ही मिलनी चाहिए, एक्चुअली ज़्यादा ही मिलनी चाहिए. पहली चीज़. Second, which is very important, value or relationship. Value our parents around. I think they have done a good job to bring you to this world. So show some respect and extra respect to them. And third, which is very important, which I actually would like to tell everybody, to my children too. यहाँ का खाते हो ना, तो पहले देश का करना, फिर बाहर चले जाना. I think that's very important. Because if every educated person starts packing their bags and moving out of this country, then वो बेचारा इंडिया ही रहेगा. But technically we don't deserve that. ये बेचारा इंडिया अब रहा नहीं है, ये वैसा वाला देश रहा नहीं है. So whatever you can do, do good. But make sure that you value your parents, you value your mother, and value the country first. And then decide something about yourself. Okay.
100% सर. इंडिया में ब्रेन ड्रेन की प्रॉब्लम आपने सुनी होगी कि जो भी अच्छा पढ़ा लिखा इंसान होता है वो अमेरिका या यहाँ जाके डिग्री कर रहा होता है, जॉब कर रहा होता है. इट्स अ ग्रेट प्रॉब्लम दैट यू हाईलाइटेड एंड इट इज वेरी रियल. People should at least do something good for their country first and then think of themselves. So on behalf of CEO Talks, it's truly been a privilege having you with us today. We wish you continued success with Bookkeepers and more, and thank you once again for being part of CEO Talks.
Thank you very much for having me here.